There you go.
There
Now
we
we're
go.
live.
All right. Let's go ahead and just start talking, and people will jump in.
Sweet. So I think so. Is it Stephanie? I'm sorry. What's her name? Stephanie?
Yes,
Yeah,
Stephanie.
I think Stephanie was thinking she was the leader this week.
Really?
In the email earlier today, it looks like she sent off something, but it's all good. Yeah, let's just continue.
Well, she had gotten on my thing on my last one that I set up. So if she thinks she's the leader and she shows up, yeah, she'd gotten on the last one. So once she gets this email, she'll jump on.
Great.
I'll let her take over once she gets on, and I'll just take over next time. I did prepare, but if she prepared, I'll let her do it.
Cool.
So, all right, we'll go ahead right now. Oh, is that Stephanie right there?
There it is.
Yeah. I'm kind of sick today, so no camera.
You're good.
Hey, so, Stephanie?
Yes.
Did you prepare as the group leader for today?
No, because I saw your email.
Okay, yeah, perfect. I just wanted to make sure you didn't think you were.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
For some reason, I thought I was a leader, but I just saw I am next week, right?
Yep, I believe so.
Okay.
Perfect.
Great.
So I got it. All right. So let's see. How about what do you guys think it would be like to work as a TSA agent?
Crappy.
Terrible, yeah.
No,
Can't deal with.
job.
I think it'd be a lot of not fun people you have to deal with every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A very thankless job.
Yeah, for sure.
It seems like a very, like, even though you deal with a ton of people, it seems like a very out of touch job. You know, you don't really have the time to deal with people because people are trying to book it past you to their plane and things.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool that the guy was like excited about his job and stuff, and it makes a lot of sense. You know, they're very useful and helpful, and they protect. You know, but it's also really inconvenient, and so people only see that inconvenience. And so yeah, they're super.
Well, and sometimes they're not so nice. They're like mad sometimes.
Yeah, if they're jerks, then they kind of
Yeah.
they're asking for it.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna.
Like that was like, oh, go ahead.
No, you're good. What were you saying? You're good.
It seems like this guy, can't remember what his name was. He seemed like he was pretty cool though. He's a cool TSA agent.
Yeah, he seems like he was very excited about his job, which I don't feel like I've met that many that are all excited.
I've met a few that like make it an enjoyable experience or try to like lighten it up a little bit, you know, and make standing there in a line a little bit more enjoyable at least.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So also just to recap what we talked about last week a little, that we're going to try and move through this kind of quick so we can talk about the Doohickeys project.
Let's do it.
Sound good? So, all right. So has anybody had a TSA job before?
Nope.
No thanks.
About this, but it says imagine that we had, you had that job. What would you like and dislike about it? So we kind of talked about some of the dislikes. What's something you might like about it?
Probably have a little bit of pride in, helping out national security. That'd be kind of cool. But
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. In the video, there was a part where it said that he realized how important his job was when he saw like a mother and his baby. Now with my baby, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of scary sometimes to fly and think that someone could be in your plane that wants to hurt you. So that's cool to know that you're helping others be safe.
Definitely.
Yeah, that is cool. And I mean, I think that would be a stressful part for me because, I mean, I would just always be worried that I'm going to make the mistake, a mistake like he did, a super simple mistake, and which caused a lot of people to get hurt, And just a couple weeks ago, I had to hang up moose antlers in a restaurant, and I couldn't even sleep like all night because I didn't think I hung them right, and I thought they're going to fall and kill somebody. So the next day I went and fixed them, but I can't imagine how much worse it would be if you're a TSA guy, and then somebody does make it by, and you don't know if it was you, but he still got to, hurt a bunch of people or something.
Yeah.
All right. Mark, what do you think O'Reilly should do about Sanchez?
You mean John
Mark.
or Mike?
Or sorry, Mike. Sorry. I said Mark.
Okay.
Mike.
So my thoughts on that is, and I don't know if it has anything to do with it's just me or not, but I think what she should do is in the discipline reading that was separate from the case that there was, it talked about doing a decision making leave, I guess. And I know that was like in the steps of the new system, that was like towards the end step, but being what was on the line here and what could have happened. I thought that that's what she should do, is give him, being that he's somebody that enjoys the job, he livens it up for people, and he cares about his work. I think it would have the biggest impact and kind of, give them that day off to decide what they want to do and if they're in the right position, because kind of to, I guess, let them know how big the mistake was, without making it so that they can't come back from it, and let them, kind of let them set their own goals to make sure it doesn't happen again, because it was his own negligence that caused it. It wasn't just an honest mistake. And how her one superior said, mistakes are part of life. It's the response that counts. Rather than fire him, although she could have, I think it would have been probably better to give him that day paid leave, let him think about it, think about what caused it, think about what he can do to fix it for the future, and then let him come back and kind of have his own action plan for it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Go ahead, John.
No, I like it. I think that was a great answer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I like that, you said give him the time to think about it and stuff, but you didn't take away that blame from him, because he did, break protocol by doing that. In the bottom of page 6, it has a little note there, It says TSA policy forbids using cell phones on the job except in case of personal emergencies after notification of a supervisor. So, I mean, he definitely was negligent in that and deserves some sort of punishment. So I agree that sounds like a perfect plan. What about
Yeah.
you, Stephanie or John? Is there anything different you might do?
I don't think so. I think that was a great answer.
Yeah, I agree. It's a really good answer. And during the discipline thing we were reading, it says you should make a formal reminder and formal reminder too. But in this case, that is so his mistake can impact in such a negative way in so many people that I don't think he should just have a reminder, but the decision making leave this day off, because I think we all know that he really wants that job, but his mistake was super bad, and he everybody should know that nobody can do something like that, and he should leave, like so he can think about what he has done and whatever, never do it again.
Yeah, that was kind of my reasoning, because I was like, that it'll set a little bit of an example, because I mean they're talking about how many different people work, in each area per day or whatever. There's a lot of people that know that it happened and that saw it happen, and that are going to be paying attention to see what the discipline is on it. And so I think doing that will kind of set the precedent where it's like, hey, you guys can't do this, because if not, you're going to have two options: either never let it happen again, or go find another job.
Yeah. Did it talk about their policy on phone use on the job throughout the case? I don't remember that being in there.
Yeah, so it's on. Let's see.
I would assume that there was some sort of policy about no phone use, but if there isn't, I mean, I think that needs to be a big thing that they consider. That they just
Oh
they should.
yeah, I just saw it. It's in page 6, in the
Okay.
page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should just say that employees shouldn't have cell phones. They should all be walkie-talkies or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because that would be a pretty big temptation if you're just chilling there and.
And it also says that you should after notification of a supervisor, and if he would have done that in case it was an emergency to talk with his daughter, someone would have been there, a supervisor, to see this person go through with his bag.
That makes
So
sense.
yeah, he broke the rule.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, so if he stays on, if they don't fire him, what are the other employees going to think? Even if they do, that that leave, what would the other employees think? Would they just say, "Hey, if I mess up, I get a free day off too"?
I think because of who he is, like within that group of people, kind of, I'm sure he's the one that they all look to lie, to be, I guess, the sun on the rainy cloud. Because I mean, he by choice has stayed as the TSO rather than moving up to a supervisor or lead or whatever. And so I think that if they know the process and it jumps from first step to last step immediately based on his mistake, I think they'd see that and go, if they did it to him, who's like the best guy here, the one that likes this job the most, what's going to happen if one of us do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It sends the right message to all the other TSOs. I agree with you. Yeah.
The next question in here is it time for Sanchez to take a paid decision-making day? So that's pretty awesome that we already talked about that.
Yep.
All right. Stephanie, do you think that the security breach was entirely Sanchez's fault? Why or why not?
Well, it was his decision to answer this phone call without telling the supervisor, and it was and check if someone goes through. But also, as we were reading, it's a lot of teamwork, and there are at least there is 5 to 12 people there. So they should have probably also been checking, right? Because I think it says that it was another traveler that told them what was happening. It wasn't even another TSO. But so I don't think it's entirely his fault what happened. A big part, yes, but then the other people in the team could have been watching to what was happening.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so in what ways did the TSA contribute to the breach?
That's kind of an interesting question.
Yeah.
So the TSA, that was the guy that was on the phone, right? Or is that the manager? Is that the manager?
It almost sounds like the way they're putting it is like the TSA as a whole, like how it's set up or something. That's almost what it seems like what I'm reading.
Oh, like the whole team?
Yeah, that's what I feel like. It's asking like how did the TSA team or organization or how they run, how did that contribute to it?
I think maybe what what maybe could have been a contributing factor is you don't in any kind of employment, you don't have to just let an employee pick up as many shifts as they want just because they want to do it. And so somebody had to approve him picking up extra shifts. And so in the one page on page 5, it says he worked until 8 p.m. the night before, and then he started the second shift at 3 a.m. that Sunday morning, and he had picked up a few extra shifts to try to save for college, which is a noble thing to do, but it put a lot of people's safety at risk. So
Ezekiel.
Hey, did you guys just started? Or I mean, I've been trying to join since. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we only started a couple
We've been
minutes.
going a little while, but it's all good. We're still going.
Okay, well, yeah, I wasn't sure what was going on.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was trying to set it up and my computer wasn't working with me.
Oh, no problem. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, no, that's it. That's a great point. That his supervisors or whoever authorized to work those hours is definitely a contributing factor to that. And I'm sure there's other things. Maybe I don't know. It seems like while they generally try to work as a team, maybe sometimes because of so much discipline on each person, they really watch out for themselves. I don't know. Maybe the culture kind of drives you to have to watch out for yourself so others aren't watching out for you as much. You know.
Well, I'll say that, and another thing that might have affected it is it talks about, you know, how that it was, you know, it was a passenger that reported it. It wasn't like any of the TSA members saw it happen. And so I would think they should probably be a little alert, you know, to see some guy running up the exit side with a bag, you know, that somebody else should have seen it besides just him. And so, you know, if there's other people there, it shouldn't have taken a passenger, you know, 5 minutes later to get up to the front of the line and say, hey, just, you know, this happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely thought that was interesting, you know. The fact that it took another 5 or 10 minutes or whatever for the passenger to finally get up there and then say that, and oh man, where is this guy now? Holy cow.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
So the next question is, what could they have done better to prevent this? Ezekiel, what do you think? What could the TSA as a whole, what could they have done better to prevent this breach of the man coming back through the exit?
You there, Ezekiel?
All right, anybody then?
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, there, we can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so you were asking about what they could have done to prevent. Sorry, can you go over the question again?
Yeah, so what could the TSA, like, as a whole, what could they have done better to prevent the breach from happening?
Well, I think if I get the information very well from the reading, I kind of think they created this kind of environment that is kind of hostile for people to like be able to watch out for each other, kind of. So I think if they've created like a form of an environment where people can easily communicate and get things figured out easily, it will have been much more easier to prevent the breach, because I mean the flight attendants don't even kind of have any information regarding the passenger. So, and I think a bit of more background check could also help them so that they can actually figure out potential dangers and all that.
Thank you. Is there anybody else with any thoughts on how they could have done better?
That's good.
One thought that I had was, you know, I'm sure they got security cameras and everything in there. One thing they could have is at the gates have certain people watching those cameras at all times. You know, have someone watching the live cameras at the entrance and exit gates at all times. That was my one thought.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that is a good one. Yeah.
So it asks, how do TSA's hiring practices contribute or hurt its mission? I don't really remember reading all that much about it.
So I think earlier on it may have had a pretty big effect, because it said they kind of just did like a blitz hiring, hired 50,000 people, and then ended up like having an 18% attrition rate, which is pretty terrible. And so I think their need for people outweighed their need for good people, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
And so it was like, you know, we just need to get bodies in here. And so in doing that, they got people that weren't, you know, as concerned as this Sanchez guy was for the job. Because if everybody was like him, I'm sure nothing would ever happen, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that is like a problem that happens when any company's core value is against this process of hiring, because like they have this great mission statement that they are the Transportation Security Administration, protect and all that, blah blah blah, but they are not actually living up to that standard. With that kind of hiring process, they are heading for nowhere. And I think that kind of affected the whole security breach and all the problem that they later had.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so I'm gonna ask each of you to tell me what percentage of the fault was Sanchez's fault, and what percentage was the TSA's fault. What percentage of the breach? So I'll go ahead and just answer that first to give you all a second to think about it. I'd say, personally, I feel like probably 85% of the problem was caused by Sanchez and 15% by the TSA. What do you think?
90 and 10.
90 and 10?
Yeah, I was thinking 90 and 10 also.
That's
Yeah,
the same numbers I was
mostly.
thinking for that.
What about you, Ezekiel?
Yeah, I think I'll go with 80-20. So yeah.
So yeah, it sounds like we all feel like, it's definitely Sanchez's fault, but the TSA, like was pointed out, could have stopped that by not scheduling people almost back-to-back shifts, with hardly any time to sleep, and maybe having a little bit more security precautions, a few things like that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Good news, Stephanie. You get to help us with the role play because it says have a girl play O'Reilly, and you're the only one. And
Okay.
somebody want to play Sanchez?
Sure. I'll play Sanchez.
All right. So it says. Sorry, was that you, John, that said you play Sanchez?
Yeah, I can do that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the rest of us need to observe and think about like how well O'Reilly does. So listen to Stephanie and see how this goes from her. Okay, Stephanie, this is the moment when Sanchez is showing up for work, and you have to tell Sanchez what your decision is. You get to
Okay.
you get to have made the decision on what the disciplinary action is going to be, and yeah. So this is right when Sanchez shows up to work. It says you got 7 minutes. I don't think I'll punish you that long. Let's go like 4 or 5 minutes. That seems kind of long.
Okay. So
So just start
what
with
should I?
maybe hey Sanchez, how you doing, or something, whatever. Just a greeting, and then go
Yeah,
into
you can just invite them over to your office or something. Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Sanchez. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm still kind of upset about what happened yesterday, but glad nobody got hurt.
Well, yeah, I observed that yesterday there was a bridge at the airport, and it caused a lot of problems, a lot of delays, and it's making the whole team, look very bad about what's happened. So it's something that doesn't usually happen to you. That's why I'm also concerned about what happened yesterday. I would like to know why this happened. Could you tell me what were you doing? Why you didn't see the person going by?
Yeah, it was definitely my fault. I was on the phone with my daughter, kind of encouraging her to do her homework before I got home. Didn't think I was on the phone too long, and I didn't think it would hurt anything. But I think that negligence obviously was, pretty concerning. So it definitely won't happen in the future.
Well, okay. You know that everyone in like the other TSOs are observing the discipline that we apply with you because this is such a bad mistake. And well, I'm going to have to ask you to take a day off, and we're going to pay you this day, but I want you to take this day to think about what happened and to have a plan so that this never happens again. And well, yeah, you're gonna have to take this day off, and it's gonna be your last chance to decide if you want to keep working with us. And if you do decide this kind of mistakes can never happen again.
That works. Thank you.
Okay, great.
And that was nice.
Honestly, I feel like if I had to be either person in that conversation, I'd like it to go that short.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Um. So, what are some observations about how that went for both sides of for both parties?
So I think John did a good job expressing the way that Sanchez probably would have felt. I think he would have been pretty upset with himself given how much he cares about his job, and would have expressed remorse like that and tried to, I guess convey that it definitely wasn't on purpose, and that that he feels that he feels remorseful about it, not that it's just kind of like, yeah, stuff happens, whatever, no big deal.
Yeah, and I kind of think it was good. I kind of admitted his mistake right from the onset, and I think that kind of helped Stephanie to like come up with some kind of win-win situation. Like just take a day off and think about what you've done and all that. So I think it was good. I came up like, yeah, I knew. It was my mistake, and he accepted it. I think that was really good.
Yeah, and I think Stephanie also did a good job, like, because obviously, O'Reilly in the case talks about how much she likes Sanchez and how how much she likes having him around. So I think she did a good job, like, being firm, but not not so much to try to like break him down or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my thought was. It was good at being stern. Didn't sugarcoat it or dance around the fact that there was a mistake made and it was a big one. And then when she said you need to take this day off and come up with a plan, I really liked that. Specifying you need to come up with a plan of what we can do different. I would have liked to have seen maybe a specific commitment made. Will you come up with a plan and come and talk with me about it tomorrow before your shift or something, or the next day before your shift.
Yeah.
But it was good to tell him that he needs to come up with a plan of what to do different. Any other thoughts on that? How about from you, Stephanie? If you're in this situation, how did you feel?
Like if I was the one who, like if I really were O'Reilly, I would be like kind of sad to have to do this because I like this person, right? And how he does his job. But I agree with you. It's important to tell him to and tell me specifically what he will do, because that's like part of the reading that we had. So yeah, it would be hard to do it, but definitely it's something that has to be done.
Yeah. So this isn't actually one of the questions, but I just thought about it. What would be a plan? Like if each of us were in O'Reilly's position, what would be an acceptable plan that you would hope that they came up with? Like, for example, the plan that I would hope they came up with, or if I was him, the plan I would come up with is that I would literally like leave my phone in my locker, every day, because I'd be so
Yeah, like
about that now.
to not have that temptation to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, if that's not already a policy, I think that needs to be a policy.
Cool. All right. All right. So each of us gets to decide what they would do, and I'm going to give you 4 options. So should they fire Sanchez, put Sanchez on probation, give Sanchez a paid leave, or require Sanchez to receive additional training? Fire
I
him.
think the paper.
The paid
Okay.
leave one is probably good. I think it's interesting that it's like paid leave, though it's not like a vacation, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that'd be a good one to tell him it's his last warning, take a day off, and that's it.
Perfect. Stephanie, you were saying something?
No, I just I agree with the paid leave probably being the best option for him.
What about you, Ezekiel?
Well, I think I don't know. I'll make it a paid leave, but I would like him to get like an additional training. So it will be more like a paid leave for a training.
Yeah. What about you, John? What do you think?
Yeah, paid leave.
I agree with you guys. I definitely had the same thought as you, Ezekiel, at first, but reading back over it, I feel like he's trained. I feel like he knows what to do, and so that's the reason I changed my mind from that and left it with the paid leave.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, doing more training. That's definitely a valid thought.
Yeah.
So this is actually what happened. Sanchez got a warning, but was not fired. However, 2 months later, he caused another serious breach. So what do you do now?
Fired.
I fired him.
Yeah, yes. Like, sorry, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
termination.
So what does this case teach us about discipline?
That not everybody
I
wants.
think it's yeah. Still, even if he did it again, like it was a good decision to give him a day off. I don't know how serious that was his.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking it just kind of reiterates the importance of personal discipline because I mean he's been given a second chance, which is good on the part of the company. But then if he's causing like another breach, then that boils down to individuals' personal discipline. So even though the company might have a form of discipline in place, which of course most companies try to go on the lenient side and help each other out, understanding the human frailties, but there's nothing a company can do to personal discipline, and I think that is what the issue is right now for Sanchez.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
like what you said with the human frailties is important because it's not hard for people to mess up once, but when it comes to that second time when he messed up, if they didn't show the discipline in terminating him, then it would be a lot easier for other people to start being lax and letting more breaches happen.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you think is the overall rate? The quality of the discussion?
10.
What do you guys think?
I think today's pretty good. I give it a 10.
Yeah, it's a 10. Really good.
I felt like we did good, especially Stephanie, for doing the having to do
It was
the
fun.
role play. So thanks. So, all right, it tells me to ask this. So, what did you like about me being a discussion leader? What did I do right?
Got everybody to contribute.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think that's something that I wanted to do, like address everyone by their name so we all participate equally. Or
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. I think that is very true. It was good that you kind of call each person, like try to get them involved in discussion.
Awesome. Thank you. What can I do better next time?
I don't know. It was a good discussion.
Good.
All right. So next time I'll talk a little less. I always talk too much when I'm a discussion leader.
I think you did
Wait.
great, man.
Okay, so that's the end of that. We could probably stop recording it, and then let's just talk for a couple minutes about